Hey there, everybody. Welcome back, my global thespians, everywhere to the Kevin E, the channel, and Q-Tips, Kevin E West, K-E-W, Q-Tips, the content. And I am Kevin E West, your host, veteran television actor, and the founder of the award-winning business information organization, the Actors Network, that I started way back in 1991. Welcome in to all of us, as I call us, the good crazy. Here we go. Today's video, you guys, is going to follow up from the last one. This is why you want to watch all of these in specific order, because this is the first of what I just called the first four. And the first of the first four is the craft, the show of show business. Now, a lot of folks who've known me over the years have, because my focus has always been when I'm not performing, when I'm not shooting, when I'm not working on something, has always been the business side. And that's not because in any way, shape, form, or fashion I diminish or denigrate or dismiss, a lot of D words, or don't give value or the purpose of value to the show. Oh, no. Au contraire. Quite the opposite, okay? One of the reasons why I don't discuss it as much is because I consider it a given. I consider it a bare minimum foundation that you guys are taking care of, learning how to use your instrument, and this is our instrument, in a way to reach a level of proficiency to be able to give yourself a chance to be hired and work in this business for money. Okay, so, but I did want to do at least one piece of content, and there'll be some sprinkled along the way that have to do with the show. But this is the first of the first four because it's the first thing that we tend to do as actors is we go to class. Absolutely, totally get it. So just know, yes, I care about the show, unbelievably. But this is one of the things that I want to say in breaking it down. Your engine is your engine. How you use your mind, your psyche, your experiences, how easy or difficult that is for you, how much you work those muscles out, literally, because that's what it is. One of my favorite acting coaches was David LeGrant, rest his soul, he's no longer with us. He was Tobey Maguire's instructor. He was also Walt Goggins and Kevin E. West. He used to always say, relax your shoulders, okay? Because those are muscles. Tension, etc. But what I want to be clear about in this video, this piece of content is your engine is your engine. Be careful, okay, about trying to not necessarily not listen to, but be careful about absorbing too much from other fellow actors who you may respect and admire in terms of what their technique, what their process may be, and or with whom they study in your local town, city, whatever it may be. Because the one thing I don't want you to do, if the person that they study with or recommend to you works for you, that's awesome. But don't try to force, this is the thing about craft, about you. Don't try to force yourself into believing that somebody's particular technique or the way they try to get your instrument to work necessarily works for you just because they may be so-and-so, or in your town they have the best reputation, or you think they know casting people or agents. So careful, just be careful, because it's the old thing about, I was a college golfer, man, and I get people that ask me to help them with their golf swing all the time. I'd never do it as a profession, but I help them out. And what I'm usually having to work with from the very beginning is somewhere between 6 months to 6 or 16 years of bad habits of how they're using their body, muscle memory. And that's a lot of what acting is in terms of the craft. So just understand, here's the other thing, that item number 2 that I want you to be aware of about the craft is you have to ask yourself, why are you studying? That's, number 1 is just that I believe in the show and your engine is unique to yourself. But number 2 is, why do you study? Do you study just out of obligation because someone told you to, because it's something you're supposed to do? Or the 3 reasons why people tend to study, and this is always my analogy, just like going to the gym. We tend to start with any form of working out, whether it's in a gym, outside of a gym. We tend to start from a place of wanting to grow into a certain level. And that's commonly the reason why we do it, is growth in our skill set. Some people choose, and I'm, again, not judging it, I'm just telling you, if you're studying with a particular person just to put them on their resume, totally cool. Just be clear that's the reason you're doing it. You're going to hear this from me all the time. I'm a big advocate of, in this very subjective, nuanced, personal, crazy profession we call the business of show, the business of art. I always simply want you to be conscious and cognitive of the choices you're making. And if you're choosing to study with somebody because they're the most popular person or cool, and great, then doing it for a period of time, put them on your resume and move on. Go find that person who really does it for you in here. So 1, you could be doing it for growth. 2, you could be doing it for your resume. And then number 3, of course, is the reason why we continue to go to the gym. It's why we continue to do anything, which is maintenance. You have to study sometimes, and or it's the same thing with auditions. The more you do them, the more your level of proficiency is unconscious. It's just flip a switch, boom, you're golden, it's all flowing. And that's stretching muscles like we do just yoga. I did yoga for a long time. So you get up and you do that. So that's item number 2 of today's content. Item number 3, you guys, is to understand this about show. Class isn't an audition and it's not the job. They're 3 different things. And a lot of times we believe that just by being in class that somehow we're then going to automatically be able to transfer that into the audition, and when we get hired, automatically be able to transition that into being on set. And it's not true. Some people do it easier than others, but I'm sharing with you that class over the course of time becomes comfortable. You're no longer scared to get up and do a scene because these people know you. Maybe you're even dating somebody in class. And then you get to the audition process. Whether in the pandemic, it's because we recorded things at home or way outside the pandemic back in the old school days, and or going forward beyond the pandemic, when you have to walk into a room and there's someone there with a camera and you read with somebody. That's not the same as being on set. When there's 30, 40, 50 people around and maybe you're working with a childhood idol, your mom's favorite actor, I don't know. This is why your craft has to be so grounded in what you know you're trying to accomplish as a performer in that moment, okay? And then the last thing I want to bring up in this very specific piece of content about craft being the first one of my first 4 is, can you honestly say that you genuinely, every single time you have an audition or you go to work, can you say that you use the instruction and the teaching you've gotten from whomever in your craft when you audition and when you work? And if for whatever reason you can't honestly say that, like you finish an audition and you go, did I actually use the craft and the technique and the stuff that so-and-so taught me, or that so-and-so, did I use it? And as my acting coach, David LeGrand, would have said, were you as specific as you could be about it? Ask yourself that question. Because if you aren't, I have 2 thoughts for you, because I'm going to always try to finish stuff with a form of an action task. But I have 2 thoughts for you if you can't say that that's what you're doing. Number 1, you might want to look for a new coach. Because honestly, if you're not really using everything that you've learned, or at least the parts that you feel you need for this particular role, this particular character, this audition, then you're just memorizing lines. And some people can be really good when they're just memorizing lines, but like any profession, there's a fine line between being good enough to work and being special to reach another level, especially when it comes to tough shows. I mean, I just did The Righteous Gemstones for HBO, and it's hard to get an audition for shows like that, and it's hard to get hired. So there's my thoughts on the first 4, specifically the craft, the show of show business. Go to kevinawest.com, look at the blog for sure. My book is there, and subscribe here, like here, get your friends and family to come here. And then, of course, you can follow me on Instagram, the Kevin E, where I do a live show as well. Okay, we'll see you guys soon. Bye.